this? Who is this? What? I don't... No. Stalker. I'm a stalker. I didn't do anything. It was entering the...
Right back.
with my team. I don't think we survived. I can't remember. We were just looking for something. No objective. Just looking.
There was no goal, no mission, no objective. We weren't there for money or fame. Some were curious, some were hopeless, and some just wanted to prove something to themselves. That I can survive, that I can best the zone. Were we just looking to be challenged, to feel some excitement? These may have been the reasons I played this game and started with the best introduction I knew. But the zone enveloped me, swallowed me whole, and either it could savagely chew me up or make me earn my way through these deadly corridors and snaring politics and incredibly powerful temptations to mod my game. I went all backwards in this experience, but I just have to thank Anomaly for existing, because without it, I wouldn't be convinced to go back and experience the gems older than myself. I'm no hardcore gamer, movie enthusiast, or avid reader, but this zone draws you in, drowns you in an atmosphere that's deeply melancholic, dreadful, and fascinating. To voluntarily seek out flavorful suffering packaged for your convenience sounds like an outlandish concept, but that's exactly what the zone is. The culmination of a really enjoyable standalone Stalker mod is thanks to the modder's hard work, that's made of a game development studio's hard work, that's made of 2 authors' hard work, and possibly the movie's hard work. We wouldn't be here if Roadside Picnic didn't fight for 8 years to be published and inspire a movie and games. We wouldn't be here if the Stalker movie didn't have multiple reshoots costing participants and directors' lives to make a heavily philosophical movie, and the game studio fighting for the completion of Stalker games multiple times over with turmoil. I want to appreciate every bit of what it took this game to be here today, but I know I can't. If I'm honest, I didn't understand the movie, I didn't know about the book, and I never bothered hearing or seeing Stalker in my early years of gaming. As a scrawny kid, I guess I couldn't possibly be asked to understand the creepy Slavic grunge. Alright, pause. I completely forgot to explain what I'm even talking about, so if you didn't know, Stalker Anomaly is a modified standalone game that you can just download for free and jump into experience a hardcore survival shooter RPG that takes place within the perimeter of the Chernobyl nuclear plant, with a bleak sci-fi horror theme that was made from the original GSC Game World Stalker games. In general terms, the narratives of the original games put you in the shoes of a special stalker, or a stalker part of a hidden organization, or a military stalker to conduct an investigation. Anomaly takes place after one of the canon endings of finding this secret of the zone and choosing to destroy the collective behind it. The beauty of this game is not having a big red arrow to follow. The originals may have had markings on the HUD, but in Anomaly, it's just you and your PDA. You have a location, now make your way to it. You have a quest to find something, now go find it. A first-time wanderer will have to rely on dumb luck, but an experienced stalker will know his way. There's no levels, no skills to grind, only you, your experience, and your gear. The hardcore nature of this game makes every expedition to any area a damn challenge and an interesting story to tell by the fire. It won't be just your crazy adventures looking for anomalies and getting your fingers burnt, tripped, electrocuted, bitten, or shot off. It'll also be your way of making it back to relative safety. The journeys are the hard part. There won't be a road you'll be able to use reliably forever. There won't be even a guarantee that you'll be able to bring back a big haul after the most dangerous anomalies and monsters have been dealt with, because getting there and back is half the fight. It's especially more difficult if your backpack is heavy. I just can't explain the amount of dread I feel when I'm over encumbered on the middle of the road and there hasn't been an emission in a while. You don't have to be organized, you can just experience the thrills and depression as you go, making your equipment deficiencies part of the panic variable, but I personally enjoy this aspect, so I prepare. there. There are probably people that personally enjoy the depth of gun selection, ammo types and parts, their repairs and such, with how everything in this game is split and described. I couldn't for the life of me understand half of it all, so I sell every bit for pennies, but a smarter and more enthusiastic stalker could goddamn fine-tune their guns and scavenge the perfect parts for their dream weapons, eventually becoming a serious craftsman, which kind of segues into the freeform beauty of being a stalker. You don't have specializations that you pick, you can just decide to pursue interests, skills, and knowledge to make you a better stalker in your own way. I make up for my lack of knowledge in guns by being good at discerning good seller prices. It's why I describe the beauty of planning these things. Visiting enough traders makes me realize what parts are worth more to which traders, so I could make better selling decisions, leaving me with more money to spend on pre-assembled gear. It's just one of those things that you can pick up as a stalker, a sense for the market. But you could be a weaponsmith, a marksman, an adventurer in groups or alone, a craftsman, an artifact hunter, a hitman, a bandit, a faction member, a completionist, or just a lore junkie. There's probably way more, but there's a lot to do in your own freeform way in a game that has a single tone, premise, and game design. It's just interesting how they pulled it off. Field of anomalous events, the zone of alienation, the Chernobyl exclusion zone, or just the zone. Call it whatever you like, it's the most ominous thing from the book to the movie and the games. The zone is known to readers, viewers, or gamers as a lockdown area of unexplainable phenomena that bend our perceived rules of reality. Authorities are keeping the gates closed and even shoot trespassers on sight, but no sane person will go after them if they get through. Curious organizations and science teams try accessing the secrets of the zone one way or another. Some gain permission and expensive equipment to traverse and measure the zone's irregularities. Some don't need equipment or permission to traverse the zone. All they need is enough curiosity, opportunities, or a monetary incentive. And those are the stalkers. Across the board of inspiration, the zone remained the same concept. Every type of fiction around the zone has not touched the ominous nature of it. And that says a lot. How interesting and hypnotic this exclusion zone is, how curious we get about it. Now, if the concept's the same, the origins aren't. The book's zone comes from aliens visiting Earth for a brief moment with their odd nature mixing with ours. It was assumed that the aliens had only made a pit stop without a care of what this Earth is and what inhabits it. This is where the book's title Roadside Picnic comes from. The two intellectuals, during a friendly drinking session, analoged the alien arrival to a small-scale picnic humans set up and the trace they leave behind in nature to the eyes of insects and animals. The game's zone is an entirely different ordeal. It's this alternate universe where the Chernobyl nuclear power plant experiences one very real disaster, creating a restricted area where we go back to fiction with Soviet science groups settling in under the cover of the secured area and years later setting into motion a second fictional disaster or accident, creating the zone as we know it, a warped, anomalous field. The interesting and tragic parallels the game made for the zone's existence with the CNPP and stalkers isn't so far off from reality because, believe it or not, real-life stalkers existed. A real-life perimeter was set up and guarded by the Ukrainian officials and visited by explorers, looters, or guides that became stalkers, inspired from the book and movie. It's interesting being a stalker in the zone, visiting so many dangerous areas and still seeing so many people like you out there, continuing to survive a deadly organism that wants us converted, out, or dead. Each has their own reasons being there. Each can choose what they want their reasons to be, and nobody is safe. For as long as the game has existed, it has had a very rich divide of factions with beliefs and goals or reasons inside the game that extend outwards and reach players picking their camps. The politics and beliefs of the zone are further reaching than its confined virtual space, and even in a virtual space, the feeling or descriptions that others give about the zone, feeling like a living, breathing organism that fights these other organisms, sounds true, sounds believable. Whether it is an orchestrated reaction by the sea consciousness or unexplainable behavior, the zone still reacts like an organism against invaders. At least I choose to believe that. What one perspective may describe the creation of the zone as an accident, another may view it as a rightful birth of the zone that can grow. We either go in there rectifying mistakes of questionable human groups, or essentially go and continuously hurt an organism that simply isn't yet understood. Are we keeping our lands clear of something more catastrophically dangerous, or are we parasites invading a body?
Get out of here, Stalker.
One big surprise for me has been the evolution of the zone from game to game. The zone is vastly different. SOC looked mellow, tame, and alive, but Anomaly looked scarred and charred with life fleeting even from the most important camps. SOC had active military involvement, not being this pushover they are in Anomaly. Duty's camp, blaring recruitment brain drizzle with their heavy numbers at garbage checkpoint and active ambushes in the army and warehouses made it seem that Duty is so much larger. Freedom's barrier was so much more active and fortified. Monolith was in higher numbers in radar. SOC's zone is so alive compared to the dead and desolate Anomaly. But camps look much more settled in there too. I like that I got to see the evolution of it, the change. Everything has matured. Everyone, Sherlock very much included, was a naive fool searching for gold in the zone and charting unknown dangers to see fascinating things. It was a rush and so many were there in the early days. Some still come, but now activity has settled. People have been burnt now. Many have been lost. Less stalkers are seen traversing the landscape, more cling by the fireplaces and make themselves at home at new camps. Where Duty had heavily guarded a checkpoint and garbage, now it's either Duty and half the size, or a group of loners from the flea market sometimes.